Hey, aloha, offline sharks. How we doing, everybody? Welcome to a special Friday edition of the Marketing Jam session. We have the legend, the wizard behind the mailbox, the postcard pioneer, Bob Ross, on the call. We're so excited. I don't know, Jake, did you? So for you guys who don't know, his real name is Jake. But did you see the image we sent out of me with the Bob Ross cardboard cutout?
No.
we were in San Diego at our mastermind, and we were in this art store. I was picking up some art stuff for my daughter, and they had this huge life-size thing of Bob Ross. So I put my arm around it.
Wait, maybe I did see.
I think I texted it to you when we did it, but we used it in our emails.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Probably. I get stuff like that all the time. So
I know.
Someone will see Bob Ross. The one time, I tell a quick story. The one time, like 2013 or something, Google put, because a lot of people don't know who Bob Ross the painter is, so they just, they know me as Bob Ross. And I get emails all the time. I don't so much anymore, but I used to get emails like, "Oh man, I used to watch your shows." This is before I had video. I really used to watch. But the best was in 2013 or something. You know how Google does those little things on people's birthdays?
Oh yeah.
They had the whole. It was Bob Ross's birthday, so it was all Google was Bob Ross, and people were like, "You're on Google, and you're that famous." No. And then I get people. I just found out you died in 1995.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, we get a ton of shark memes and shark stuff. It's crazy. It's great. I love it.
Look, I got on my other computer. I got that. That's my monitor. I use that as a monitor. Yeah.
Sporting the bling. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, we've got our small business rescue squad shirts that we trot around to.
Nice. Yeah, I got to print some more actually. I'm really excited. I'm really happy that you guys asked me to come on here. I'm really excited. I'm just looking through the things. This is my first time on StreamYard, but this is a great interface. You guys picked a really good one here.
Yeah, it works out really well. Yeah, this should be a lot of fun. I know we had some people asking questions, and as you guys know who are on this, I see Aloha Ron, Kevin. I know Megan's on here, Dorn, Lauren. Welcome everybody. I see the usual suspects, which is awesome. We've been promoting Jake's new course, the new mover mailers, which is really awesome, and we put together a great bonus for it. And I know a lot of you guys have jumped in on that. So, if you have questions, right, this is the place to ask them. So we've got Jake here, Nick and I are here. So, you guys can ask away.
And I have some stuff to talk about too.
Yeah, well, you want to start off? You want to start off doing that, and I'll kind of go through.
But I gotta tell a funny story I told Nick. I'm not that technically inclined. I'm not very good at that stuff. But my business partners, I'm partnered with the YouTube channel Sailing the Vagabond. Right, it's a #1 sailing channel on YouTube. It's extremely popular, huge following. We're business partners. And very good friends. And I don't want to get political. I want to stay out of that. But they just took Greta Thunberg across the Atlantic. Okay, Greta Thunberg, if you don't know, was the Time Person of the Year this year. She's that little girl.
Yeah.
That does climate change. She was the most influential person of 2019, Time Person of the Year. So she's a big deal. So anyways, I run their website, right? And I got Greta, this thing is gonna, get 8 gazillion, as she's traveling the Atlantic, all these news outlets are reporting on and watching. So I'm like, of course the website crashes as soon as she mentions it on Instagram. But anyways, you saw that. But here's the funny thing. This is what's so funny. So I'm in charge of keeping this website running because it's tracking. We have a tracker that's going to track Greta Thunberg across the Atlantic over 2 weeks. but like her security team is like, Greta gets death threats. Like we can't put the tracker up until a few hours after she's left land because, everyone will know exactly the precise location where she is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And I'm getting like the embed code ready and all this stuff. I don't know what any of this stuff is. And this is the funny part. So my business partner, Riley, he's like, yeah, just put the tracker on. He's like, just put it on there. I'm like, okay, I'll put it on there. And so I put it on there and they're still on land. All right. And I drive off to a meeting. I'm like half an hour away from my house. And Greta's security team is like, you have to get this tracker off. Their whole, like, you have the whole world watching this thing, God knows who's, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, and like, how am I going to get this tracker off? So I have to find I find some random library. I'm in there like an idiot trying to get on the computer. I can't find my password. And I'm just thinking, like, there's all these people like wondering, why is this, the most influential person in the world, and I'm like trying to control her website. I'm in some little library, like an idiot. You got CNN freaking crashing the website. It's just funny that in marketing, I don't know, it's just funny. You can be an idiot and still do well in this industry, I guess.
Yeah. That is so funny.
They were rowing across the LA.
Yeah.
It's sailing. There's no you're using the wind. It's even better than rowing.
Yeah.
But so I know probably a lot of you guys have picked up my course on new movers and sending postcards to them. But I know that you guys, and I know Nick, you in particular, are like really into SEO and stuff. And I wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Wait, hold on.
Right?
When we watched the video, when Tom and I watched the video, your video, which is great. Excellent video. For those of you that haven't watched the video, I'm trying to find my camera here. Those of you that haven't watched that video that Jake put together for the new mover course, go watch that video. It's a really good video. Anyway, when Tom and I were watching the video, asking the SEO guys, Tom looks at me and he goes, I think he's talking to you.
And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I get nervous. Like, I don't want to bash. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. So because it's easy for me to bash SEO and website. It's very easy for me to do that. And I don't want to do that. Here's what I wanted to talk about, because I know many of you are into that. Like, and that's a legitimate service. Like, it really is. Website building, any digital marketing, it really is. It's a well-needed service. But obviously there's a lot of crap out there and a lot of people flock to it. I originally started trying to sell SEO, and I vividly recall reading some course or guide or something, and I originally made this website called ballparkestimate.com. This is 10 years ago, okay? And I built it using Dreamweaver that I read some tutorial on, and I all that stuck in my mind was I read some article that said, because I was trying to figure out how to get this ramped up, because what I wanted to do was make a site that called ballparkestimate.com, and I would get people I was in the home improvement business, and I wanted people to send me the information of what kind of home improvements they needed, and I would give them a real price that wasn't like, because people are always like, they get all these wild prices and they don't know who they're dealing with, and I would give them an actual price, and then I would sell those leads to like home improvement companies and stuff. So anyway, I'm like, how do I get this recognized on Google? And of course, SEO was really different at that time. There was like keyword stuffing, and I think at the time, a lot of people were putting their keywords in and making them white so they blended in with the page. And like that was what they were doing in 2009 or whatever.
People still do that, oddly enough.
Right. But one thing stuck out in my mind, and I actually did this for a while. We get tons of people every day it actually did rank well. But I remember reading some article and it said content is king. It's like if you have the best content, Google will know that, and it will put and that has all of even today. I mean, I try to remember like content is like if you have the best content, Google's gonna figure that out. So I've always kind of, and then I started trying to sell SEO. That was like the first thing I really tried to sell in marketing. And another thing that I read in some random course was that you had to be different. You know, you had to have some kind of advantage, some kind of angle. And I worked really hard to put these like packages and stuff together. So I feel the pain that a lot of people today are trying to sell SEO. It's really hard to have something of an advantage. It's really hard. You have to try to make your package different and stand out, and it's extremely difficult. So I still feel that pain of trying to make it stand out, because then you have all these people that are cramming down, I'll get you on first page of Google, right? That's what you're up against. You're against all these people who promise they'll get you on the first page of Google. I'm like, how do you that doesn't even register with people anymore, right? Like business owners hear that 100 times a day. It's like really hard to find this angle. So what do you do if you want to sell SEO, you want to sell websites or reputation management or whatever it is, but you can't find an angle. You can't find something that's going to make a lot of people try to drop their price, right? They try to be the cheapest, and that's their angle. I'm going to do it cheaper.
Yeah.
And that sucks, because that's your core business. That's like the thing that you should be making the most money on. That's you shouldn't have to discount that. So most of you have probably heard the question, what does McDonald's make the most money on, right?
Yeah.
What does McDonald's make the most money? Like, what product do they make the most of their money on? Has everyone heard that analogy?
I haven't heard which product it is, but
yeah, I don't know what it is. I've heard that.
Okay, well, that's a good one. Like, what does McDonald's make the most money on? What is their most profitable item?
I mean, I'll eat the hell out of their chicken nuggets and their fries. I mean, that's just me. From me, historically speaking, that's what they make the most money from me on.
Well, I mean, I've always
profit on.
I've always heard their main business isn't food, like their main business is real estate.
No, you're right. You're right. Real estate is, because they buy the locations and lease them back to the franchisers. They're technically a real estate company. But besides that, what's product that they sell?
Yeah, I don't know.
Most money. It's the drinks and the fries, but it's the drinks. Okay. They make the most profit off soda. Soda costs nothing. Tom, you were in the restaurant management business, right? Like the drinks, like you go out to eat and you look at the entrees and you look at the prices, but you don't even look at the prices of the drinks. You pay like $3 for a freaking soda or something. It costs like a penny. It's water and buy the syrup, and like the profit margins are insane. The cups that you have to the plastic cups cost more than the soda itself. Like that's where all their money comes. The hamburgers, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a loss on some of them sometimes. Like the hamburgers cost a ton. When the food costs of a steak or whatever, like there's no money in that. The money's in the drinks. The money's in the desserts. It's all this other stuff. So some marketers get there and say, oh, I got to upsell, right? I got, would you like fries with that? You sell them one thing and then you upsell. But the main point that I wanted to talk about today, and it has to do with SEO, is that McDonald's, Burger King, all of them sell the exact same soda. I mean, there's like Coke and Pepsi. They're exactly the same. There's no difference. All these restaurants sell exactly this. They either sell Coke products or Pepsi products. It's the same exact thing. And they don't like try to lure you in with, hey, we have Pepsi here. They make all their money. They don't have to use that as an advertising tool. They build something else that they can get you in the door with, and then they don't have to discount the main product. That's what, if you apply that to your SEO business or whatever, instead of trying to make your like SEO packages unique and drop the price or whatever, instead of wasting all this energy to try to make that unique, which is really hard to make unique, because even if it is unique, business owners, it's a tougher thing to sell. Make something else unique. That's why I like new movers. You can get people in and you can discount the crap out of that. You can sell, you don't care about making money on that. That's what gets them in. And then you don't have to discount your core product. You should never be discounting the core thing that you want to sell. You shouldn't have to cut that price down to sell it. That just makes you miserable. Discount something else that will get people in. That's the main thing that I wanted to say.
That is an awesome marketing lesson right there. I mean, I hope you guys got all that and took notes, because that's so true. I mean, because, you know, just looking back at so for those of you guys that don't know, so I started my agency, right, doing Jake's mailer, and I bought that back in, God, I think it was like
2011.
2011. He had already, he had sold so many of that he had raised the price of it to $50. Like, you could only get one version. It was $50, which at the time was like the most expensive thing on Warrior Plus.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh my God, you're selling it for $50."
It was nuts. And I'm looking at this thing like, I don't know, $50, like that's so much. And so I bought it. But that's exactly what that mailer does, right?
It brings people in.
It like brings them in, and that's how I was able to build my agency. Because now you start being able to do websites and SEO and so.
And they just trust you. They don't have someone to trust.
Yep.
You don't have to discount. I mean, it sucks when you have to discount your core service. Say consulting is like, and you don't want to discount those things. You do not, and then you don't have to be that different. Like, they're in your stable. You don't have to be radically different. I could go out today and start telling business owners, I'm going to get you on page 1 of Google. And I could have that ability. I still will have trouble selling it because they've heard it so much.
You know what's funny about that story, and I'm going to give Jake a win here. So the whole, actually both of your stories right there, right? Yeah. When I first met Tom and we started working together, he had just been coming off a mailer cycle, right? And I was doing websites, SEO, still do those services, obviously, love them. But you're right. Like, finding a way to get your foot in the door is going to make or break you. It's going to be the difference of doing it in a sustainable way and making a lot more money. So Tom and I originally started working together on the local front, like working with clients. And it was because he had way more clients than I did. because he's doing a mailer. Yeah. So, I mean, what everybody that's on this call, like what we're talking about, this is real world stuff, right? Like, Jake is talking about a prospecting strategy, a way to get your foot in the door. Tom and I are living proof of that scenario actually working. There are so many other people in our communities, both Jake's and ours, that are living testament to this. It's pretty crazy. That have had success with, using these types of foot in the door strategies to get more clients. And like you said, have your prospecting ecosystem so you can sell the same people on multiple services. I mean, that's what
not have to be radically different. You don't have to sell different. You're not worried about trying to make your whatever that core service is different, because I can pick up the phone right now and sit here all afternoon and just tell people, hey, I want to do your SEO or whatever, and they'll just say do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. They just trust you.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely right.
I don't have to sell them. I don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you could give us a little, like, the 30,000 foot view of what is in the new mover course. What's it all about?
You know what's funny is that I'm getting all these questions, and I saw some in your group of people like, how am I going to make any money off this? It's not a lot of money. Because if you look at my sales page, I don't even once mention that you're going to make any money, even though you will. It's not even about making money. This is not. If you try to make too much money off this, you're going to you're going to not get as many people in. So this is about getting a lot of clients in very quickly, which I think any agency can benefit from. It's nice to have a bunch of people that you can say you have working for you or whatever you're working with. It's just important. And you do make a few $100. And I think if you have never made any money in local marketing, a lot of people haven't. This is a great way to make your first couple $100 and get a bunch of people in the door. Leads and acquiring sales and prospects costs money. Like there's no way around that. It's going to cost money to acquire any kind of customer. We tell our clients, we're all real quick to tell our prospects and clients, hey, you got to spend money to get people in, but we don't want to take that. We don't want to take that on advice, right? It's like, yeah. I can't make any money off. You're going to have to invest something. This is a creative way to get people in and not have to spend money. But you shouldn't be concerned with making money getting people in the door. Postcard Mania, which is the biggest postcard marketing company out there, they're like, I don't know, $30 million a year or something. There's an interview with their CEO. I've lost it. It's somewhere, but they ask her how much it costs to get a new customer for them. And it's like $1,200 to get one customer. Wow. When I was in the home improvement business, it was about $1,400 to get one home improvement job. Like a lead would cost $200 to $300 to generate, and every 4 leads that you went to would become a sale. Like it was like $1,500 or so. Of course, the average sale was like $15,000, so there would be $5,000-6,000 in profit. But who cares if you're spending $1,400 and you're making $5,000? That's worth it. A lot of marketers don't have that kind of. They don't understand that it does take some money to get people in. And these are ways that eliminate that money or help alleviate it. You're getting people in without having to spend money. I give away stuff all the time. If I see a business that I really like and I want in there, I'll message them and tell them I'll print. Hey, I'm a local printer here. I'd love to print 50 magnets for you. Is that all right? Do you have a logo or something? I'll spend the $30 or whatever. $30 for me to get a client that I know is going to, or at least I'm hoping will pay off, is totally fine. But there's so many marketers that are like, that's stupid. No, it's like you got to.
True. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I will pay. I will gladly pay. Buy someone business cards. I will gladly spend the $20 and print someone business card for free. That means I can get in there and have a good shot at, and I don't care if they don't buy anything. Every 3 or 4 people will, but fortunately I have things like this, like these new mover cards too, that I don't have to pay for that. But I will be quick to do that. If I don't have a card going on and I see some new business pop up and it looks profitable, I will get right in there and just offer to print them business cards, print them magnets.
So you're targeting people that just moved to a specific area with the cards?
Yeah. So new movers. This is the thing that I'm offering right now. It closes today, by the way. It goes up to $100 tonight. I'd be real transparent about it. It's a postcard, and you basically just fill it with $35 ads. So you just ask for $35, and you go up to a business owner and explain to them that you every time someone in the area moves in, you send them a postcard, and it's got different businesses on it. Would you like to be on that? That's it. It's for a business owners have never heard that before. They've never heard that before. And it usually takes a second to register. Like, tell me more about this. Like, how do you do that? How much does it cost? And it's $35. It's like, yeah, okay. That's it. And now you've got a paying customer. Another thing, I'm probably talking too much, but whatever. Another thing.
No. It's good.
Another thing I
love you.
And if you watch the video, this expresses it too. I love working with all the businesses that other marketers pass by. So there are so many businesses out there that have like next to no marketing budgets. You're never going to sell them $1,000 a month marketing. You're never gonna. They don't have the funds to do that. It's a little bakery. It's a little cupcake shop. Someone opens a little cafe. Like, they don't have the money to sell them one of your core services. You shouldn't have to leave them out, for one. They're fun to work with. They're usually the best owners to work with. They're easy to talk to. They're fun. You can watch them grow. You get free food, whatever. You go in there with your family, and they sit you down and stuff. But the weird thing is that those businesses that have these zero budget, minimal budget things almost always are the easiest to get response for. Like, it's a cafe. If you put a coupon out for freaking a free donut or whatever, they'll get response like crazy. They're commodities. It's food. It's little services that people buy all the time. Super easy to get response for. Now you've got clients that will leave you glowing. You know, you're trying to talk with someone who you're trying to sell a bigger service to. You can give them 4 or 5 names, how about this cafe, this restaurant, call them. And those people will tell you, this guy, I don't know what he did. I gave him $50 and I had people all, coming in through the door. Those kind of testimonials are invaluable to have as a local marketer. Even if you never really made a whole lot of money off, having all those kind of people in your stable can just work wonders for your business.
Yeah. I mean, that's so true. Like, so true.
You'll get one person that owns some little crappy restaurant. You brought him a bunch of response, and he tells his friend that owns a chiropractic place or whatever. Yeah. And that kind of testimonial, you can't fake. Like, that's something you can only get by doing something like this.
Yeah, there's a pizza place here on the island that we talk about all the time, man. They freaking love me because every time, I bring 300 people into their door whenever they do something with me. They're like, this guy's like, wow. And you're right. I walk in that place, like, sit over here. Here's some free appetizer. They're like, I'm their hero,
Yeah, yeah. You could be in there, and then there's another business owner, and they hear you over talk. Like, I've had weird stuff like that all the time.
It's funny that you mentioned Postcard Mania because they just called me to try to acquire me.
They will.
On this law. Yeah. I sent them to voicemail.
The money to get the business. I mean, yeah. They're at the point, though, that they will spend. Ryan Dice talks about it. He's like the person that can spend the most money is going to win. Like, if you can spend as much money as possible to acquire people, you're going to dominate that. I express that to clients all the time. You've got to be willing to spend as much money as possible. And I tell them that same concept about the McDonald's thing. I'm like, look, you got to stop. Don't worry about discounting the stuff that you really want to sell. Discount something else. Let's make something that's going to get people in the door, something that you don't mind taking a loss on. And then they buy the more expensive stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome.
And you don't have to try to, you sell John Deere tractors or something, and there's another John Deere tractor. Like, it's the same thing. So you can do something else to get people in, and then they like you and they buy the same thing they could have from another place.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do have I wanted to say a couple more quick things here too about Jake, because I hope you guys took notes on all that stuff, because all that stuff is invaluable information. And there's a couple of other things that I've just observed that Jake does over the years that I think more entrepreneurs should be open and shift their thinking to do. And one is so when I bought Jake's mailer course and I started actually going out and doing it, I had questions, right? And I'd email him. We even talked on the phone a few times, and he was super open with his time and his advice and just helping me getting up and running, right? And then when I put together my first product, which was on the mailer that I learned from him, I'm emailed him because I was like, I don't know if this is going to be okay. Is this guy going to be mad? And he was like, dude, send me the link. I'll promote it. He was my number one promoter of that course. And that is really what got this whole thing started. So it was I think that's a really important lesson. And I bring that up, one, just to say thank you. But the other part is to just illustrate to people man, you got to have that kind of mindset all the time, with the stuff you do. It really does make a difference in your business,
Yeah, man. How funny was it when we were talking on the phone and you're and it turns out you do card magic. I did too. And you're somehow we talked, and I had a book of this, no one even knows who this magician is. Milton Court, right? Wasn't that his name?
Yeah, Milton Court, yeah.
And I'm I have them, and he's turn to page 78, and I turn there, and there's Tom in the book. And it's you would never, the chances of someone having this book would be like
I've never met anybody else that has it.
Yeah,
I've never ran into anybody else that has that book. And I was like, I'm like, I'm in there.
Yeah, I might have it.
Man, that's so funny. It's so weird how many marketers are actually like magicians. I just met another one the other day. I need to get into magic.
No, you don't.
You think you guys think Hogwarts is accepting new students?
Man, well, while Jake is looking for that, there are some questions coming in here. So there's a couple I wanted to answer.
You guys are like killing our chat box. Like, how are we supposed to answer these questions? You're like, you're gonna break Facebook.
Find it. Wait, I don't have that book here. I do, I think, have it somewhere. But Tom, I'm not gonna take it off. But Tom, did I ever tell you the first magic book I ever bought?
Yeah, this is the Guy Hollingworth book, right?
Yeah.
It is.
This is like level 1,000
Oh my God.
sleight of hand. Like, this is insanely difficult. This was the first book I ever bought, and I like read this thing and learned the most difficult thing you could possibly.
I don't do a single trick out of that book. That's how hard that is. This is the book that Jake was talking
You know what? Oh, that's it. Yeah.
So
usually we make marketing book recommendations, and now we're making magic book recommendations.
Let's turn this into a great business lesson. This book, Guy Hollingworth's Drawing Room Deceptions, okay? This is an incredibly hard, technically, book to do card magic. But here's a great business lesson. You know how every now and then you come across some piece of advice that always sticks with you? You know, it's just always something you always remember. This book is one of them. I learned this at 17 years old, I think I was, when I bought this book. This came in a lot of use later when I started to become self-employed. Like many of you, it's hard. I think tips on being productive is incredibly important because we're self-employed. You know, we don't have a boss telling us to get stuff done, right? We can decide not to sit around, you know, to do work. We're doing other things. This book had incredibly important discovery for me. So this guy he's English, and he's a lawyer, but he's really into card magic. I'm pretty sure he still is. But he was always in like a tuxedo. Like, he's always like superbly dressed, even though he's really young too. Right in the beginning of this book, he talks about, and I haven't read this book in 20 years, but I can tell you right in the beginning of the book, he mentions that when he was writing this book, he always put on, I'm pretty sure it's a tuxedo, because it made him feel like he was at work. So even though he was in his house and no one was around, he would completely dress up to work on the book in order to stay, focused. And I found that too. I don't really dress up now, but for a while I would put on a collared shirt. It just gets you in that mood of, this is work time. Now I need to focus on work. And that was a really important lesson that I learned.
That's another great tip.
Yeah.
This is the picture with milk quartz that's in the book. Look at that young guy in there.
Yeah, huh? You had I can't see it, but I think you had like the middle part going down or something, right?
Well, I had like spiky.
The 90s haircut.
Yeah, it was
Leonardo DiCaprio or something. Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna go through these comments. Let's go through.
So there's one I wanted to. So BJ, he said he was asking about our bonus for the new mover mailer thing, and so it's our coupon cash system unleashed. So just so you guys know, kind of what we've done with this. So a little over a year ago, a part of what I do with the mailers is this directory website that we do, and so we broke that product out as Agency Growth Machine, which talks about the directory site and the website and things like that. We kind of separated that from Coupon System Unleashed. And so what we've done now is like Coupon Cash System Unleashed is now just the mailer part of the training, right? Like that's how we're moving forward with these. So these two things work really great together, but you don't have to do them together. And that's why we did that. Plus it allowed us to really focus more on the specific training for each thing. Like one of the things that happened is like the the directory site just kind of got lost in the mailer, and the mailer got lost in the directory. And a lot of people thought you had to do both things together, and that's not the case. So now we have two separate things. So Agency Growth Machine is where we, you get our custom theme and all the things that come with that. And we show you how to use that to get clients. And then Coupon Cash System Unleashed is the mailer, like where we show you how to do all that thing and give you all the, done for you materials and everything you need to run that business. So BJ was asking about that. So that's what the difference is. I don't know. It's not really a trimmed down version. Like, it's pretty robust and there's a ton of stuff in both of those things. But we just felt it made more sense to separate those out. So that was one. And I see Eric said he's going to do the new mover strategy. He already bought your course. So thanks, Eric. And he said, just curious though, if there's a similar small scale strategy or niche that also works with this audience size, 250 cards to a specific target group.
Yeah, you can do it with birthday people. But it's a lot. You're adding a lot more work. Like it gets more complex. So I put out a product a couple of years ago called Local Sparkers, which is all mentions that. But I just think you should stick with new movers. They're the easiest and like most receptive targets. It's just simple. It's just the simplest one to target.
Yeah.
I think good. the most common question that I've seen that and you don't have to answer this if there's some secret sauce, but like people want to know how to find or how they can get a test on the market. Like how many new movers are in my area? Like where can I get some stats or, that type of thing?
Yeah, it's not so secret anymore, but I think if you do like pick up, like it's still worth picking up the course because I go in detail on how to get it. But some libraries have access to 2 different databases, and
yeah, right there, you're cut off.
Yeah, and if you can finagle your way into one of these library accesses, you can even finagle your way online without having to visit the library. You can access them.
Cool.
Another great with the same resource, you can find new businesses that have just opened up, which is just as valuable. Mm-hmm. Reaching businesses that have just opened is like they're fantastic for whatever you're selling. Doesn't matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wonder if you go to those places that pay, like that you buy lists from, like Info USA. I wonder if you could do like a free search just to see how many are there.
Oh yeah, Tom, that's actually great. Yeah, you can go on like leadsplease.com. That's probably the easiest that you can go on and look that stuff up
and get an idea. Like at least that would give you an idea of what's going on in your area. Yeah. So Megan Bennett is on here as well. So Megan is one of our private coaching students. It's funny, we were talking about magic because yesterday on the coaching call we had, behind Megan was this huge poster of Alexander, the magician, the man who knows. And so Cameron, who's also a magician, he's like texting me like, do you see that poster behind Megan? He's like, look, it's the man who knows. So she said that she bought the new mover program and it's really cool. She says she lives in a pretty big city. She's planning on using it in specific areas in her city. For example, she lives in one of the little artsy areas of the city with restaurants and shops. Do you see any issue with making it area specific, planning to send to people that move to a specific zip code?
It's whatever quantity gets you to 250. If you're in a super dense area, 250 won't be a very big selection, but you got to look at your area and see how many there are. 250 can be tough to get for some, and you got to go wide. But it's relative to the size of your area. Like if you are in a sparse, you're really rural, 250 people that have just moved in might be your whole county, but the whole county will go to the one city to shop. So it's just scales with wherever you're living. 250.
And the thing about targeting new movers, Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, is that they just need so much stuff when they move to a specific area, right?
Man. If you look, you can Google around and look at these statistics, and they're wild. I mean, it's pretty. You'll see different statistics, but generally ranges from like $6,000 to $12,000 on average that new movers will spend over the first like 6 to 9 months that they move. And that's furniture, you know, all these things that you've got to just do when you have just moved.
New restaurants.
You got to find new restaurants, dry cleaners, childcare, a church. If you've got health issues, you've got to find new freaking everything. You know, you got to find new dentists, hair salons, barbers, chiropractor, insurance, all that stuff. You've got to find new.
Yeah. So it's a way to get these offers for these businesses in front of somebody that's really primed to buy. That's what the value proposition is. And
it helps anyone that's been out prospecting knows that you run into a lot of people that say, hey, I've been here for 20 years. I don't need to advertise. This is something you said because someone just moved in. Yeah. You know, this is an audience that they haven't reached yet.
I actually hear from customers all the time, even in the SEO space, where they're looking to reach an audience and target market that isn't here yet or is just getting here. And because those are the people they want, right? Like those are the people, they're not fighting for everybody else's business. So it is a really interesting angle.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this here, but I'm going to throw it out there. I sell almost all these over Facebook. I Facebook message. I don't think Facebook is too keen on that, and I hear that from
awesome.
In my group, we got people doing the same thing. Like it's
you're Bob Ross, man. They can't hurt you.
Hey, I saw that Jacqueline is on here too, and she's in the UK. Is there something comparable? Like, can you do this in the UK and other places?
Okay, so I jumped the gun a little bit by not doing like real big research into how to find these things, but in other countries, because I know I need to figure this out for Australia, Canada, and the UK. But on one thing, I know there's a lot of people who are living in these other countries and target the US, so this works fine for that. But there's a guy, and I gotta think of who it is because he's a member of mine and he does these in the UK and he gets these lists for free. I remember him telling me how he gets them for free. And I gotta like go through my inbox and figure out who this person was again. I know these lists are available. I'm not sure Australia, but I know Canada and UK have these lists available. I just don't know how much they cost. I don't know the best source to get them, but the data is there. It's available.
Yeah, so you maybe have to figure a little bit out.
But it's still the same. Even if it costs money, you just adjust your prices. Like it's still an audience that you want to be able to target.
Yeah, well, we talk about that with the mailers in the coupon cash system at least because, you know, you can still do them in the UK and Canada and things like the postage is different. There's just different things. You just have to like look at what's available to you and then adjust your pricing.
Right. They could raise the postage to whatever. I'd still be putting these out. It would just have to adjust. It would have to adapt to it.
Yeah, and again, too, when you use them the way that we're talking about, which is as a way to bring people in, like it's not so much about how much money. Like that's one thing with the mailers. Like I don't do the mailers I don't do the big mailers as a way to make money. Like because they're not. You have to do so many of them to make a living.
There's so many members of mine that will put out a card once every 2 years, and it's just when they're low on consulting clients and they want to bring some more people in. They'll do a card, and now they'll have 15 new people to work with.
Yeah, and that's great because BJ asked if I still do the mailers, and that's like I do them, but just very often, like I just kind of do them when I want. I don't.
Sometimes you just get the feeling. Sometimes you're like, I'll do one of these.
Or one time I did them just because we were going on vacation, and I was like, boy, it'd be nice to have a few extra grand to go on vacation. So
right.
Did a mailer. I was like, I'll just go do a mailer, and then we went to Disneyland.
Scott, he's one of my members. He might be in here too, but he was telling me, he's like, I gotta remodel my kitchen. I gotta go. I'm gonna go hard on these mailers because I gotta get the kitchen remodeled. There's his kitchen. Yeah. He did mailers on his kitchen's paid for.
Tom says these are golden nuggets.
I like Tom. I just met Tom. Tom has been sending me emails. He's a very, very nice guy.
Yeah, we have a lot of great people in the Shard group, and I know we share. I know we share a lot of people between our groups too because of the mailer and stuff. It's awesome to see them in here. Let's see. Let's go through these. Let's see. Elise said, forgot to ask, are you doing new movers in the same area every month, every 6 weeks.
Oh, wait, hang on. I just want to say, Doug said, can you bring these up on the screen or no?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Just
well,
click on it.
if you just hover over it and click show.
Nah, don't let me.
Which one are you looking at?
As the guest, I probably can't. But Doug Mosteller said, but no, 2 more up. But you're working with low-paying clients who can't afford $1,000 a month. Correct. But that's not all you're working with. Like, you're going to have, I mentioned this in a video, I got some of these people on this card won't, I'll never get more than a couple $100s a month. It won't happen. They're going to get lots of response. They're going to be great to have because I can use them as testimonials. It provides value to the card. Someone gets it and they get, hey, this is, wow, it's got a lot of restaurants. But then you have like this. You have this gym that got, I didn't even follow up with them, but they got 6 people in the first 12 days. They got 6 people to sign up for their gym in the first 12 days. These are people with serious money. So you've got people like that can spend a lot of money. This leggings store can spend a lot of money. You can still put people like that on there that you can charge $1,000, $5,000. I just did a mailing 2 days ago. Guy wants, I started off selling him business cards. He sends me a thing he wants to send to military veterans. He wants to send a special offer to people who are military veterans, and he wants to gear it to, to that. They had no clue how to do this. I can find that list easy. You go on leadsplease.com, you go wherever and find these lists. The list cost me $600. I charged him $1,200, which was still a really fair price, and $7,000 for the mailing.
Wow.
That's probably like $3-4 grand that I'm going to make.
Yeah.
And I started off with a business card. So there's people that have tons of money to spend. And once you're in there, let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, one of the things we always talk about is like generating the activity. And that's what you're talking about. Like, you don't get so wrapped up in, is every client going to be a $1,000, $2,000 a month client? Because they're not. But what you want is that activity going on all the time. Because I know from experience, when you do a mailer, like sometimes those things show up at people that own businesses.
Yeah.
Every time I do one, people call me up. Hey, I got this thing in the mail and I have a business. Like,
I can't believe I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Why haven't I heard about it? Tell me about what you're doing. It's like,
how dare you?
Yeah.
Look at the stat from Warren.
Sorry, Jeff. I tried to tell you. I wanted to.
I had a client one time. They had a pet pharmacy. So they didn't know. They were like, "Can we get a list of people that own pets?" And I was like, yes, you can. And so, I got the list, and we did a mailer.
They have no clue. They have no clue. They have no time.
Yeah,
you need someone to do it for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
New mover market is 170 billion. New mover spend average 10K to 12K in the first 3 to 6 months.
You can keep mailing. You can use the same audience and mail to them for 6 months. Wow. You don't have to look for fresh ones every time. You keep mailing the same ones.
Yeah, Elise said, if you live in an area with less than 200 new movers, any advice?
You go wider. Go to your county. Search the county. It's gonna scale with. There will be 250 new movers that travel to the location you're going to sell ads in. It scales. Yep. You know what I mean? People drive further. I live in a city outside the city, but I live 2 minutes from the country. There are people that live 40 miles away who come once a week to come shopping where I live. And they're 40 miles away. That's normal in probably 90% of the US.
Yeah, not necessarily in Hawaii. We hate driving to the other side of the island.
You're country. From Oklahoma or something, right?
I am originally from Oklahoma.
It's got to be like that there. You go
it is like that there. Well, it's what's so funny is when I first moved to Maui, I used to make fun of the people that lived here because you would talk about going to the other side of the island, and it was like you were asking them to go on a 2-month trek. They were like, "Oh, I don't want to go over there."
Yeah. Think of living in New York City. There's people who don't leave their block. There's everything on one block.
Yeah. Well, now I'm one of those people. People are
Now
like,
you don't want, yeah, you don't
I'm like, oh
want.
God, now we got to drive all the way over there.
People who drive, you got to drive 2 hours to a hospital. That's most of America is like that.
Yeah.
Like it's work.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing. People, it just scales out. You just have to target a wider area, but they also stop at the same place.
Yeah, and I think at least we answered your other question too, because you can continue to mail those same people over an extended amount of time. John,
it's better to do that. It's better to do that because people get something in the mail. Some people act on it. Some people say they throw it out and then they see it again. You know, they see it again. They see it again, and then, or it's like a plumber. Like you get an ad for a plumber, you may not have a toilet leak, but then you get it again. You get it again, and by the third or fourth time, you now remember that plumber's name. And as soon as your toilet has a problem, that's who you call. So that repetitiveness really does pay off over time.
It's true.
Yeah, and John said so.
Mattresses. Look, you don't need a mattress until you need one, but these people shove them down your throat, and you don't even but you can tell one or two mattress stores in your head because you see so much advertising, and then it pays off from when you need the mattress.
Yeah, John said so. It's $35 a month, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can also sign up. A lot of people that sign them up for contracts. I've been teaching people how to do this for like 3 years. I just never made a dedicated course on it. It's been in like parts and pieces of other courses I've done, but there's people who sign them up under contracts, which is fine. Put people under contracts, charge 50 and then charge 35 under a 6-month contract, things like that.
Yeah. Mark said, you ask Jake a question, then you get 45-minute podcast with gold everywhere.
Do you cover some of that pricing stuff in the course, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything. You gotta get. If anyone's on the fence about getting it, I mean, what is it? $39 I have it for.
Yeah.
The cost of one ad. It's what one ad is, and it goes to $99 tonight. Goes up to $99 tonight. So get it.
And just so everybody knows, like we've added our bonus, right? Coupon cash system unleashed. There were a couple questions that people had on how to connect that with our agency growth machine influencer site. And the way that works is you offer the free listings and get people on your card with the free listings. And you build this community resource around your mailer and your influencer site.
Yeah, the way you'd put all three of these things together is like, look, you use the new movers to bring people in because it's $35, right? It's $35. It's easy. You get them in. Then maybe you do a mailer and they get some results and you go, hey, would you like some more results? Like I actually have a mailer that goes out to 10,000 homes right here in this area, like not people that just moved in. Now you're selling them a $500, $600 ad space there. Yeah. Then, the way we also throw in when we do those mailers, we throw in a free listing on the community directory website. There's a premium listing they can buy there. And there's like, it's just,
I don't know what on your system, I can't remember what the profit but I like a regular 9x12, you're making a few $1,000s profit. Like that's
$3 to $4 grand easy. Yeah. I mean, and so that's they all just kind of naturally tie into each other.
Yeah. Hey, someone asked Tara Texera says she don't get home till around 12 tonight. I'll tell you a secret. Me changing it to $99 depends on me being awake and having the willpower to get out of my bed and go downstairs and fire up the computer and change the things. I may not do that until 5, 6 a.m. or something like that. And I know that there's different time zones, and someone says, I thought it was 12 Pacific or Hawaii time. It's like tomorrow in Hawaii or whatever. But I don't know if I'm even going to be awake at midnight. I don't know. I got 7 kids. They wear me out. You should see.
I always forget you have so many kids.
Yes,
crazy.
You should see what I had to get to come here. My office is not kid-wise. They're home right now, which is great. We have like 3 feet of snow in like 5 hours. This morning there was no snow, and now there's like 4 feet probably of snow, of wet snow. I'm not kidding. probably 4 feet. So I had to like really like go through an incredible snowstorm just to get here.
I turned the central air down really low.
You guys are sitting there in Hawaii. What is it? It's like Hawaii or something, right?
Hawaii. Yeah.
It's like the way you say it.
Yeah.
I just found out that a pineapple doesn't grow on the trees. I couldn't believe that a pineapple grows on those little things.
Ron said that it can work anywhere. He's got a system set up in the Philippines, and their post office doesn't even
doing it from other right. Thailand. A lot of people do my postcard stuff from Thailand. I think because they moved there because it's cheap, you know.
Yeah, I think
Kurt knows. Is he's in Syracuse. He's getting bombed too.
Yeah, I see somebody's commented about the profit. You know,
no OTOs, there's no upsell, nothing. Some couple.
Yeah, it's all $39. It's a really good deal. Well, I saw Doug was saying something about there's just not enough profit for the effort, and like, I think again to stress what we were talking about earlier, like, I think you're missing the big picture, you know, and don't take that the wrong way, Doug, though, but like, you gotta think about, that's thinking very short term, and you got to think about the long term and the long game. And in the long game, doing something like this will bring so many people into your direct operations that you will more than make up your money on those people that can't afford to do higher price things. Like, but you got to like. I read something the other day that I thought was really great, because people always say life is short. So this guy, Marty Edelston, who started Boardroom, which was one of the biggest financial print newsletters in the world. They grew it huge. I mean, multi millions, maybe even $1 billion company. His saying was always life is long. And he said that all the time to remind himself that it's about the long game.
It's funny because it's kind of true. Yeah,
it is. He's like, look, life is long. Like, whenever you're facing a decision or a setback, or like, you need to think, like, just remember, life is long. Like, this failure isn't going to be with you till the end of your life, right? Or this, like, you got to think about the long term. And in the long term, what's going to benefit you the most is getting more and more people in contact with you and what you're doing, right?
You know, if I had millions of dollars and was going to start a postcard, like a shared postcard business, right? And I wanted to make sure this thing was going to grow big, and I had millions of dollars, I wasn't afraid to put anything amount needed. I wouldn't charge for the spaces. Like, I would put out cards for 6 months and never charge anything. I'd get this thing so I have 1,000+ clients and get it all freaking hammered all over. So there's a giant platform built, and people are, will pay freaking an absorbent amount to be on that platform. I wouldn't even be concerned with charging $500 a space or whatever. I would put out 9x12s and I would do them for free for months.
Yeah.
Just to build that platform, and for me to think like how crucial it is that I spend it's getting these platforms built. You have a great platform with the directory and stuff. It's really about building a place that people can advertise. The new mover cards are just a little piece of a puzzle. I mean, I talk about community cards, mailing to a community. There's larger shared postcards where you go into larger areas. You can put copies of the postcards up at different parts of town. Before you know it, then you have online, you have directories and all this stuff. And now someone can spend $1,000 and get their name out all over the place. They got to go into new movers, communities, a larger one, a directory. And you're building this platform that we 20 years ago couldn't have been built. Like, this is something we have control over. We can't control TV networks and billboards and stuff that all these other platforms. We can build our own platform like this. I think that's very powerful.
Yeah, it is. It is super powerful. And Frankie, just so you know, our bonus is delivered via Warrior Plus. So when you log into Warrior Plus and go to your purchase history, and when you click on Claim Bob's course, there should be a link in there for the bonus. If you can't find it, just email us your PayPal receipt and offlinesharks.com/support, and we'll email you the direct link. But you can always find them in there. Yeah, there's so many great comments about Bob. They said your afro's under your hat. Somebody was like, I didn't like the course because there's no videos of you painting. I was like, that's a great one. Yeah. I'm trying to just go through here because I know we've been on here. Well, we've already been on here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. Well, I don't know how long you run these things, but whatever.
Well, we're pretty flexible, but we don't want to type your time too much. Let's see. I'm just trying to go through these questions and see.
Yeah, I'm looking through here.
Somebody said, "Who's Monica?" Oh, Monica was one of your students, right? Didn't she have?
Monica is great. Yeah, to make a real quick story, Monica is. This girl pumps out so many mailers. She never talks to anyone, right? She cannot talk to people. She was on bed rest. I have a podcast twice with her. She was put on bed rest, literal bed rest. She's pregnant and she had lost the baby, and then she got pregnant again, and the doctor said you cannot get up. Bed rest for 6 months. You only get up to go to the bathroom and go to doctor's appointments. The only time you get up out of bed. And she had to figure out something that she could do without getting out of bed. And she started putting out postcards, and she did it all over email and has continued to do that. Then got put on bed rest again for her second kid, did it again. Still, now she's shifted to mostly M6s, which are 6 ads on a postcard and new movers. And she just puts them out all over the country. And she's got I've gotten her to put a couple different products and stuff together of her, how she does these things. So she's just a testament that you can do this without ever talking to someone.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah, Hal said, would it make sense to sell new mover cards and also offer the community-wide cards?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do.
Like, it totally makes sense.
Yeah, mix them. Do them right together. You're only at about 100. I mean, it depends on whatever you want to sell for, but you're at like $110 to do both that you have to charge. And you're still going to make a few $100 in profit, and they still get response. It's a really, really good. Then you work them up to the larger things. You work them up to another thing and whatnot. Some people don't. You don't sell everyone everything.
Yeah, somebody was asking, and I think I saw this, that there was like a higher price course that you had on the new movers, right? At some point?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah. He's asking, is this new mover course any different than what you've done in your group before in the past?
No, I had I put out a product called Local Sparkers a couple years ago, some of my favorite ones, and I had mentioned this as one of them. And then I had put out when I was doing my live shows, I gave a bonus of new mover, like a 3-page PDF or something on it.
That was like a lot. Yeah, a lot more in depth. Yeah.
Yeah, this is in depth. Starts you from A to Z, covers everything.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of people here in our group too that target real estate agents, and you have a really good course on doing something with real estate agents.
Yeah, but I don't know how up to date it is, because it involves Facebook ads, and that's anything that. This is another reason I like postcard stuff. You can go back to my stuff in 2011; it's exactly the same. Like, all the stuff still works. It's all exactly the same. You can't really go back to 2011 and look at SEO stuff. It changes.
Yeah.
It changes.
Yeah.
Like, you can still pick up a Dan Kennedy book that's 30 years old, and it's still all the same. That's why I feel more comfortable in these spaces. Like, technology stuff really changes. Really, it's hard. But like I was saying in the beginning, I remember reading that thing is that content is king. And I think that will always probably be true. Like, if you have the best content, Google's going to know that.
Yeah. So this John said, do you count apartment movers as new movers? Or
that's a good question. You probably aren't going to have. There's two things. You probably aren't going to have enough new movers that are just homeowners to get 250. Like, it takes a lot of population to do that. And also, if you're in a dense population, a lot of people are going to be apartment dwellers. So you're not going to have, like, if you pull up New York City or something, like, you're going to, like, a lot of people have apartments. So it really doesn't make sense to split, like, just do both.
Yeah. Yeah. And hey, Scott Misner is on here. I actually got to hang out with Scott when he came to Hawaii on a break because he has a lot of kids too.
He does. He has more than me.
Yeah. And
wait, Scott, he got a 9x12 today, I think, or yesterday or something, a couple days ago.
Yeah, we talked about
Scott. He just did 2 postcards, 10,000 pieces each.
Yeah, I think he crossed 100,000, right? He's
Yeah,
mailed
huge amount, 100,000,
Yeah, and
500,000. I don't know, a lot.
Yeah, it was like over 100,000. For you guys that don't know Scott, like he's a teacher. Like he has a full-time job. He is a teacher, and then he just kind of does these mailers on the side. And it's like, yeah, it's really.
You know who also got started with the mailers? Jason Bell.
Oh yeah, Jason's a good guy.
Yeah, it was his first money he made in local marketing too, was doing these.
That's awesome. We just got to hang out with him in San Diego.
I'll never make it out to those things ever. Never. Won't happen.
Would you, really?
No, never. I can't. Listen,
like you won't make it out. Like
I won't, because I don't want to say
you're just
I don't know.
You're the rogue man.
The what?
The rogue. You go rogue.
Oh yeah. That's me, man.
Yeah, totally.
You get in there and then you got
a product with no OTOs.
Yeah, I know.
None of the normal subtleties of launching Warrior Plus. And I can tell you, someone who is genuine, in my opinion, someone who's not really looking to do all those things that, I think we've touched on it quite a bit on this podcast. Actually, is like people are so ingrained. They're like almost brainwashed from just looking at Warrior Plus products and marketing, where they think that if they're not buying something that makes them $10,000 tomorrow, they're like, how's this work?
Yeah, they're like, what? I mean, I can't make
how's this going to work for me?
Right. They want to see something that says make $10,000 next week.
But that's
and pay $9.95.
Like they've been looking at it too long. They've been looking at it too long. And in reality, in the real world, come back, everybody, come back. There's a little bit of a long game here that you can play that can be wildly profitable.
Very quickly.
And the whiz bang snap sizzle you see on Warrior Plus type sales pages.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, man, listen, Jake, I know we got through, I think, most of the questions. It's been awesome having you here. Like this was a fantastic episode of the live show. We're gonna need you to come back every Friday.
Listen, I will be your guest again for sure.
Hey, I actually have a request for everybody that's still on here. We got over 115 people on here. Give this stream some love. Give us some likes, some shares. Let us know if you got any value out of this stream. If you've picked up the new mover course from Jake, help us push this out a little bit and get a bigger audience so we can help more people start their businesses, maybe get their first clients. I think that would be an awesome way to just kind of push the message out there. And thanks, Jake. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you, guys.
And just let me answer John's question real quick. So, John, if any of you have the original coupon cash system, you guys have. I mean, like I've updated a couple of the videos in there, which you'll see in your members area. So, like you have access to everything already. So you should be good to go. I think you should still pick up Jake's course because it's totally worth it, right? Like it works so good. Like. I mean, the bonus is great and everything, but like the course itself that's really what you want to be doing. And if you haven't been able to get going with the coupon with CCSU, like doing the new movers, it'd probably be a good way to spark that.
Agreed.
How about the time I did I got to tell you something funny. My cooch.
Yeah.
Yep. He tells me, this is years ago. Okay. I didn't know what webinars were. He's like, let's do a webinar. I'm like, okay. And he's like, and then he's like, and I'm like, I think I can put something together. And he's like, yeah, maybe, $200-300 or something. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. I'll make a nice package for $300. So we get them all on there. So I spend like a couple weeks making this thing, and it was presentation. I thought that people were paying $300 to watch the webinar. So I'm making like this $300 webinar, like I'm going to go over all this stuff. And then I didn't realize that it was like, you made the webinar and then make a product.
That's hilarious.
Until like the night before. And I'm like, oh. I was about to just give everything, and I'm going to be that tough. And then like years later to do a webinar and I put together this nice nice package together and stuff. And I'm like, here it is, you know, here's the buy button and here's the page. And he's like frantically, like, I didn't realize he was he's like telling me, I think he texts me and he's like, Jake, you need to look at your screen in the private chat or something. And I'm like looking there and it says the buy button, you put the link to the product, to the download. So when you click buy now, just download the product. I mixed up the link.
Oh,
so
man.
It's like a $500 product. And they're just hitting buy now and it's just downloading downloading the product. So yeah, I guess another reason you could be an idiot and still be okay in this whole thing. Like I'm nothing special. I make mistakes constantly, you know, more than most people. I make the dumbest mistakes. I still do all right. You just gotta get out there and just talk with people. That's all.
Yeah, and actually take some action, right?
Yeah.
I actually just
mess up so many things. I go in there to wear a hoodie and stuff. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
I've actually been I'm starting a podcast, and so I've been recording the episodes. And in one of the episodes, I talk about that. I'm like, look, I'm just a country boy from Oklahoma. Like, if you're listening to this podcast, like, this should be enough motivation for you to just start doing something. Like,
yeah. Most people are probably smarter than us. I mean, there's a lot of really smart people in these groups of ours. I think they just don't. They lack, like, maybe they overthink. They don't think they're smart enough or something, or they're. And you'll find the business owners are some of them are really stupid. You know, they're really dumb, especially when it comes to marketing. You got to help them out.
Yeah, they are.
They're not intimidated.
They need a lot of help.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, and just real quick, so if you guys have any issues with our bonus or anything with that, you can always reach us offlinesharks.com/support, and we'll get you taken care of. We can help you with whatever you need. So yeah, Jake, it was really great having you here. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get together sometime and do a card trick battle.
Wow, yeah.
Go back and forth.
Can you do a classic pass? That's my forte.
Oh, I'm not good at the classic pass.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right, man?
It's hard. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I see that. So
the hardest one that I could never get was, I think it's called Raise Rise.
Oh yeah, that's really hard to do.
Wow, I tried that one.
I can show you a way that looks just like it, but it's cheating. It's really easy to do. Yeah. So you do that and people think that's what you're doing. You're like, yeah. Oh, God, that's so hard. I could never do it. Yeah. Years to learn.
Yeah. Is that guy still around?
I think he is still around. Ray Crosby.
Crosby, yeah.
Yeah.
And my man Leonard Green, I can't ever tell if he's alive or not.
I think he passed away.
You think so? I couldn't find out. I don't know.
Yeah, he passed away. He's I think, but yeah, you can find him on YouTube. He did some TED Talks. Leonard Green.
I watched everything. I bought every DVD he had. From when I was 18 years old. Every single thing. I racked up my credit cards and maxed them out, buying every single thing he had.
Yeah. Well. Awesome. Well, look, guys, thanks again for joining us. I know we went a little over, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks for the marketing jam love. I saw all those going up. That was awesome. And we'll be back here next Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, for some more awesome content. Jake, thanks so much for joining us.
See you guys.
Yep.
See you guys.
Talk to you guys later.